Now on Coast TV News.
Support for fallen troopers family, how you can help, and the fake fundraisers to avoid. Planned upgrades for Northside Park in Ocean City, what changes you can expect.
Increasing clouds on your Friday with a cold rain developing across Delmarva with ice and snow and tricky travel to the north. Forecast details coming up.
And goodbye Christmas, where to recycle your tree in Delaware and Maryland.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick and Grace Eckerly have the day off. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour. Hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. We are now going to bring in first meteorologist Bob Trahey, who got a very nice Christmas gift from my Cleveland Cavaliers. Your Knicks ended up coming back and winning, Bob. Not too happy about that.
Indeed. Good morning, Elisa. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And yes, that was a nice surprise for the Knicks bouncing back against your Cavs yesterday. Out the door this morning, it's cold. We're looking at temperatures in the 20s and 30s. So maybe you're returning some of those gifts maybe you didn't like for Christmas. Make sure you bundle up as we have gusty north and northeast winds, at times over 20 miles per hour. So it feels like temperatures into the teens and 20s out the door, so bundle up. It's mainly clear this morning as we're looking at clouds beginning to increase. I think we're dry during the day, but clouds thicken up ahead of the next system that will bring some cold rain for us and some icy weather to the north. Here it is now developing across the Great Lakes with a mixed bag of precipitation. Already winter weather advisories to our north of Dover into Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, even a winter storm warning around the New York area where they could see a few inches of snow through tonight. So if you're traveling in that neck of the woods, it's going to be pretty treacherous, I think, for tonight, but not for us. Here's this morning. We're increasing the clouds. By noon on Futurecast, we're in the mid to upper 30s. So we're above freezing and then cloudy mid-afternoon. Then by 5 o'clock, I think a cold rain develops. After 5, could start out as a wintry mix, and then it's just a cold rain with temperatures into the 30s and 40s. But farther to the north, you can see that peach color with the ice and even snow into the New York area, with us just getting a cold rain as we go through tonight. So your day part forecast, 20s and 30s with lots of clouds, and then that wintry precip builds in later tonight. I'll have much more on that, plus your weekend forecast coming up a little bit later on.
Our top story this morning, Delaware State Police are warning people about unauthorized fundraising efforts following the line-of-duty death of Corporal Matthew T. Ty Snook. According to the agency, these fundraisers are not affiliated or endorsed by the Snook family and Delaware State Police. DSP is encouraging people to rely on official information they have provided. And here is that official fundraising information to help the Snook family. A fundraiser has been started by Delaware State Police Troopers Association at helpahero.com. People have already helped raise over $110,000. And here is some more information about Corporal Grade 1 Matthew Ty Snook. This is his picture. DSP says Trooper Snook was 34 years old from Hookessin, Delaware, and a 10-year veteran of the Delaware State Police. Snook was a graduate of St. Mark's High School and the University of Maryland, where he was a member of the wrestling team. He is survived by his wife and their 1-year-old daughter. The Delaware Division of Motor Vehicles has announced that several DMV locations will be closed following the officer-involved shooting on Tuesday. Locations in Delaware City, Dover, and Georgetown will be closed today. Normal hours of operation will resume Monday, December 29th. State officials say the Wilmington location will remain closed until further notice. And to honor Trooper Snook, Georgetown Mayor Bill West says he's been in contact with Senator Brian Pettyjohn to plan a candlelight vigil. Coast TV spoke with Senator Brian Pettyjohn, who says the impact is widespread.
Doesn't matter if they're from Georgetown, if they're from the area, or if they're upstate. We always have something here in Georgetown to help support the family and help them through their time of need.
Pettyjohn says the circle will be closed off to traffic on Sunday. New overnight, newly released video shows the scale of destruction left behind by mudslides in the mountain community of Wrightwood in Southern California. The San Bernardino County Fire Department released a video showing homes and vehicles buried under several feet of mud and rocks. According to the National Weather Service, the town received just under 10 inches as of Thursday morning. New this morning, Northside Park in Ocean City could soon be getting some upgrades. The park is used year-round, from people enjoying a nice stroll in the summertime to the Winterfest of lights display. According to the Ocean City Parks superintendent, upgrades will include replacing the softball field lights with LEDs to cut cost and better light the area, upgrading the playground, and improving the pathways to better prepare for drainage issues and improve walking conditions. The plans are something one person who often walks the outdoor area is in support of.
I think it's in pretty good shape now. It's nice and flat. It's easy for me walking, but you could always flatten this in spots.
According to officials, the overall cost for these projects will be around $1 million, with funding coming from the Capital Reserve Fund and state grants. The town says these upgrades happening to Northside Park is set to happen in 2026 and 2027. Starting today, Ocean City is offering a free Christmas tree drop-off site. Organizers say people can bring their live trees to the 100th Street Municipal parking lot. The drop-off site will be open through January 15th. Town officials remind everyone to remove all tinsel, ornaments, and other non-wooden items before dropping off trees. In Delaware, DNREC and the Delaware Center for Horticulture are hosting tree cycling on Saturday, January 10th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Delaware Center for Horticulture in Wilmington. Officials say collected trees will be chipped into mulch and reused in community gardens and public landscapes. Again, all ornaments, lights, tinsel, fake snow, and stands must be removed before arrival. New overnight, Pope Leo led his first Christmas Eve midnight mass from the Vatican. It's one of the last events of the year for the world's first American pope. NBC's Molly Hunter takes a look back.
It's the moment the world's 1.4 billion Catholics have been waiting and praying for. About an hour later, American Cardinal Bob Prevost appeared on the loggia.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
Now Pope Leo XIV.
To find out that he's a Chicagoan as well, I could not believe it. That was something we were always told could never happen. There could never be an American pope.
An Augustinian who spent decades as a missionary in Peru, before that a Villanova grad born and bred on the south side of Chicago. And those who know him well say he's adjusted quickly to the Vatican.
He seemed to hit the ground running. It looks like he was, came out of central casting, made for the job.
In the same spirit as his predecessor Francis, Leo has spoken out about immigration.
I think we have to look for ways of treating people humanely, treating people with the dignity that they have.
And repeatedly called for a ceasefire in Ukraine. He's met with Ukrainian President Zelensky 3 times since his election. And back in November, we had the chance to ask Leo a question.
Do you have a Thanksgiving message? Is there something you're thankful for?
To recognize that we all have received so many gifts. First and foremost, the gift of life, the gift of faith, the gift of the unity, to encourage all people to try and promote peace and harmony.
The first American pope spent the holiday traveling on his first international trip. In Turkey, he marked an important historical meeting for the church, visiting the famed Blue Mosque in Istanbul. Then, honoring a promise made by his predecessor Francis, he traveled to Lebanon, where he celebrated Mass on the Beirut waterfront for a crowd of 150,000.
To you, Christians of the Levant, have courage. The whole church looks to you with affection and admiration.
Quite the send-off for the new pontiff, who chatted with reporters on the way home.
Just a year or two ago, I too thought about retiring someday.
But instead, celebrating Christmas at the Vatican, his first as the leader of the Roman Catholic Church. Molly Hunter, NBC News.
A holiday closure notice for Sussex County. The Indian River Life Saving Station and Visitor Center says it will be closed today. According to officials, the park is normally open from 8 a.m. to sunset every day. And we're just getting started this morning on CoastTV News Today. We still have a lot more news to get to. Coming up, a holiday tradition in Cambridge is bringing the community together. We'll tell you how much longer people have to enjoy it before it packs up for the season. Also, marijuana penalty modifications, the new bill being introduced in the Delaware General Assembly that could lessen some consequences for marijuana violations. And Winterfest winding down, we'll tell you how much longer people have to enjoy Ocean City's holiday installment. And First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahey is right there in our weather center. He is tracking a cold rain for Delmarva tonight, and we will check in with him right after the break.
Just about 5:12 on this Friday morning after Christmas. Spicer Brothers Cam 31 in Salisbury right now, and it's cold. We're seeing temperatures in the 20s and 30s out the door. 30 in Georgetown, 31 Millsboro, 33 in Bethany Beach, and we've got a cold northerly wind right now. So that's making feels like temperatures in the teens and 20s. So bundle up if you're headed out, maybe returning some gifts or just heading out for breakfast on this Kwanzaa today. We're looking at mostly clear skies now, but there's our system developing to the northwest with a mixed bag of precipitation that will bring a cold rain to our neck of the woods later on. So here's your morning checklist. You need the umbrella, not for this morning, but for this evening with that cold rain. Make sure you layer up. Don't need the snow shovel here with this event, but need the winter coat, hat, gloves, and scarf, and make sure you have that warm beverage as well. I'll have much more on this wintry-like storm that's headed our way, or at least a cold rain for us, coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. In Ocean City, the Winterfest of Lights is still open daily. Their hours each night are 5:30 to 9:30. The installment features a train and photos with Santa. Winterfest of Lights runs through New Year's Eve. The Delaware Office of Highway Safety is bringing back the Sober Rides program for New Year's Eve. The Don't Drop the Ball campaign means you can get a $20 voucher for Lyft and Uber. The vouchers are redeemable from 5 p.m. on New Year's Eve to 3 a.m. New Year's Day. Delawareans can visit mysoberrides.com to get the vouchers. A plan by the struggling U.S. Postal Service to raise cash could cost the agency its biggest customer, Amazon. USPS has a partnership with the online retail giant to deliver some orders to Amazon customers. The contract reportedly brings in about $6 billion a year, but now the post office plans to accept bids from other shippers for access to services distribution centers. An Amazon spokesman says the uncertainty might push the company to stop using USPS as much, and that Amazon is evaluating all of its options. Consumer confidence is down this month, according to the latest survey from the Conference Board. The consumer confidence fell 3.8 points from November to 89.1. That's the lowest reading since April, when President Donald Trump introduced his Libertarian Day tariffs. The most report showed most consumers across all income levels expressed more concern about the state of the labor market, with the unemployment rate recently hitting a 4-year high.
Here's a live look into Salisbury on the Tidal Health Cam. It's cold, 31 out the door, and it's breezy as well. And it's going to be a cold day today. Cold rain later on, and farther north, tricky travel with ice and snow. I'll break down the system and have your weekend forecast coming up after the break.
The time is now 5:17, and we are taking a live look outside at Lewis this morning. Bob, we were just talking. We had a beautiful, warm Christmas. Yes. You even grilled on Christmas Day. You weren't freezing. Tried to. Hey, you know what? That's a better step. 50 degrees on Christmas. I'm a fan. I loved it.
Yeah, we were in the lower 50s, but my grill couldn't overcome the cold, Elisa, but had to bring the steaks inside, but the steaks were still delicious. Anyway, hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. It was nice yesterday, but things are changing. Here's a live look at our Irish Eyes cam right now. Things are quiet, but our storyline today, increasing clouds. We're going to see a cold rain developing later this afternoon into this evening, and possibly starting as a wintry mix briefly and then changing over to rain, a cold rain, temperatures in the 30s, and then it's a cold rain for our neck of the woods with wet roads, but tricky travel farther north with ice and snow. We'll have more on that coming up, but right now it's cold out there. 31 Salisbury, 30 in Georgetown, Milton 31, 34 in Lewis, and Bethany Beach 33. And we've got a cold northerly wind. At times it's around 10, 20 miles per hour. So that's sending the wind chill values down into the teens and 20s. So maybe you're returning some gifts this morning or just going out to breakfast with your family. We're looking at, feels like temperatures in the teens and 20s. Now, we do have a winter weather advisory far northern Delaware to New Jersey, into the Philly area, and back into Pennsylvania, where they're going to see sleet and mainly ice from this system, and snow around New York and Long Island, where they have a winter storm warning. They could see a few inches of snow. So I think travel is going to be a little trickier up in that neck of the woods. Well, we're seeing some starry skies this morning and eventually thickening clouds. So if you're traveling anywhere across the Northeast this morning into early afternoon, we're okay. But then after that, all bets are off as we're watching this mixed bag of precipitation, this area of low pressure that is dropping to the southeast, increasing our chances of precipitation later on. Futurecast this morning shows the thickening clouds by 10:30. We're into the mid-30s and then upper 30s to around 40 degrees by 2:30. So you can see it's warm, and we're just going to be looking at wet roads as that rain moves in, possibly starting out as a wintry mix, but it's just a cold rain through the evening hours as temperatures do rise into the low to mid 40s. So just liquid precipitation for us. And then we move into your Saturday morning. It's cloudy, winds turn out of the north tomorrow, and it's cold with temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Into your Sunday morning, it's a cold start, temperatures around 30, and then a cold Sunday afternoon with lower 40s. Here's a wider view. You can see the rain moving in over us, but then that pink indicating some sleet and ice from Philly into Pennsylvania, and then farther north into New Jersey and New York. There's the snow. That's where they expect the accumulating snow. And for us, once again, just plain rain, maybe up to about a quarter inch of rain. That's about it. Then we have another system coming our way on Monday as a cold front. It's going to be mild, and we're going to be looking at, once again, another chance of rain at that time. Here's your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. 39 for your Kwanzaa today. Cloudy skies, increasing rain this afternoon and this evening, but you can see temperatures are above freezing, so no worries as far as frozen precipitation. A cold weekend, mainly cloudy, 41 Saturday, 46 Sunday, and then really mild again Monday. I can break out the grill again, Elisa, on Monday. 61 with rain, and then much colder after that. 36 Tuesday, 41 Wednesday. That's New Year's Eve, and I think we're looking pretty quiet weather-wise heading into the new year with a mix of sun and clouds on New Year's Day and a high around 38 degrees.
Thank you, Bob. 61 degrees in December. I will take that. Well, Delaware could change how it handles public use of the drug. House Bill 252 would make the use of a personal use amount of marijuana or THC products in public spaces or in a moving car a civil violation instead of a misdemeanor. The legislation says penalties would get reduced to a fine of up to $50 for a first offense and up to $100 for repeat offenses. However, the measure does not change existing DUI laws. Supporters say this change is needed to more fairly handle low-level offenses and align Delaware with other states.
This simply brings Delaware's laws closer to what other states, including states that don't even have legalization laws. So this is essentially a cleanup provision that wasn't included in the original legislation.
The bill is now assigned to the House Health and Human Development Committee. And if you have weed in your house, smart habits could ensure a fun and safe holiday season. Children can easily mistake edibles for candy. A study from the National Institute of Health reports that it happened more than 3,000 times in 2021, and that can be very dangerous. Kids are more vulnerable to the effects of THC. Well, Santa has come and gone, but the holiday spirit is still shining on Delmarva. Stay tuned for some cool things to do this weekend. A holiday tradition in Cambridge is back for another year. The Cambridge Rescue Fire Company's Train Garden has been in operation for over 9 decades, even believed to be the oldest volunteer fire company model train display in the country. Dedicated volunteers like Andrew Bradshaw, who also serves as chairman of the Rescue Fire Company Train Garden, works to maintain this miniature world.
We've been in this building since we began in 1934. The Train Garden has continued in Cambridge for 91 years. We've survived the Second World War, the Great Depression, the Vietnam era. There's a history coming into this building. It is as much part of the tradition for people that come to the Train Garden as the trains themselves.
And organizers say the holiday feature is open until December 31st.
It's time for a look at the beach forecast, and for Fenwick Island and Ocean City, we're looking at a lot of clouds. Temperatures in the 30s to near 40 degrees today. I think the rain holds off until this evening for Lewis and Rehoboth. Lots of clouds, temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. Waves around 2 to 5 feet, and on the bayside, 1 to 2 foot waves. Cambridge, you're in the mid to upper 30s with cloudy skies. Crisfield, close to 40. I think we'll see some rain, a wintry mix developing a little bit later this afternoon, but it's plain rain for us, but farther north, tricky travel with some ice and snow. I'll break down the system and have your weekend forecast in detail coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. New this morning, hopefully everyone had a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday, but the festive fun doesn't have to end now. Christina DeRobertis shows us the cool things to do on this coast this weekend.
If you have any extra holiday spirit lying around, Shellville awaits you this weekend. The Christmas Village behind Tanger Outlets is open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with live music and all the usual holiday magic. Plus, Ocean City's Winterfest of Lights continues until December 31st. That's from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. at Northside Park. It's your last chance to take in those sparkling displays before the lights go dark for the season. You can also head to Lewis to check out holiday light displays all throughout the city until December 31st. And holidays at the Hammock at Crooked Hammock Brewery is still happening. That includes drink and food specials, s'mores, and more. Finally, if the gifts you got did not quite hit the mark this year, you might be headed out on a return mission. Tanger Outlets are open from 10 to 9 Saturday and from 10 to 7 on Sunday. If you missed any of that, don't worry, we have all the details on CoastTV.com right now.
Now on Coast TV News.
Support for fallen troopers' family, how you can help, and the fake fundraisers to avoid. Planned upgrades for Northside Park in Ocean City, what changes you can expect.
Increasing clouds on your Friday with a cold rain developing across Delmarva with ice and snow and tricky travel to the north. Forecast details coming up.
And goodbye Christmas, where to recycle your tree in Delaware and Maryland.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Lisa Weber. Thank you for joining us during our 5 o'clock hour on this Friday morning. The Friday after Christmas probably means people are going to the store, maybe to return a gift that just wasn't right for them, or using gift cards, which I personally think are always great gifts. But to look at your forecast for today, we're now going to bring in First Alert Meteorologist Bob Trahey. Bob, we had a warm Christmas day, that was for sure.
Absolutely, Elisa. It was a really mild Christmas day with sunshine, but it's getting a little colder out there. In fact, we're starting out this Friday morning in the 20s and low 30s, so make sure you bundle up. Some gustier winds at the coast are coming in out of the north around 10 to 20 miles per hour, so that's knocking that feels like temperature down into the teens and 20s. So if you're headed out to breakfast, maybe returning some gifts you didn't like from Santa, make sure you bundle up. It's chilly out there as we're looking at mostly clear skies this morning, and clouds beginning to increase from the north and west. Now, if you're traveling up to New York or really much in the Northeast today, I think we're quiet and dry through early afternoon. Then after that, all bets are off, because then we're tracking the system back to the north and west. It has a mixed bag of precipitation now, and that'll be moving in later today. Already winter weather advisories far northern Delaware into the Philly area, back into Pennsylvania. They're going to be looking at sleet, snow, and ice, and a winter storm warning around the New York area where they could pick up a few inches of snow. But for us, I think we're just looking at a cold rain. Now this morning we're in the 30s. We're going to thicken up the clouds through late morning into the mid 30s, upper 30s, low 40s by the afternoon with the thick clouds. And with this flow coming in off the ocean, I think we're looking at primarily rain developing this evening, maybe starting out as a wintry mix, but I think just a cold rain. But then you see this peach color farther to the north, and even this blue with snow back through Philly and New York. You can see we're in the rain here, but then the frozen precipitation tonight, and that could cause some travel troubles there. But on Delmarva today, 41 along the coast and inland areas with that afternoon rain developing, and 39 for the eastern shore. So primarily liquid precipitation for us, but farther north, tricky travel. Much more on your forecast coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. Our top story this morning, Delaware State Police are warning people about unauthorized fundraising efforts following the line-of-duty death of Corporal Matthew T. Ty Snook. According to the agency, these fundraisers are not affiliated or endorsed by the Snook family or Delaware State Police. DSP is encouraging people to rely on official information they have provided. And here is that official fundraising information to help the Snook family. A fundraiser has been started by the Delaware State Troopers Association at helpahero.com. People have already helped raise over $110,000. And here is some more information about Corporal Grade 1 Matthew Ty Snook. This is his picture. DSP says Trooper Snook was a 34-year-old from Hockessin, Delaware, and a 10-year veteran of the Delaware State Police. Snook was a graduate of St. Mark's High School and the University of Maryland, where he was a member of the wrestling team. He is survived by his wife and their 1-year-old daughter. Northside Park in Ocean City could soon be getting some upgrades. The Recreation and Parks Committee gave the council an update on the plans. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zappe shows us what's in store.
Northside Park in Ocean City is used year-round for people enjoying a nice stroll in the summertime to the Winterfest lights display in the winter.
This is a hidden gem.
Vince Ryan walks Northside Park 6 days a week and has for the past 5 years.
It's quiet here, it's open, you got plenty of room to do anything you want.
And now some planned upgrades are in the works. According to the Ocean City Park Superintendent, upgrades will include replacing the softball field lights with LEDs to cut costs and better light the area. It will also include upgrading the playground and improving the pathways to better prepare for drainage issues and improve walking conditions, something Ryan is all for.
I think it's in pretty good shape now. It's nice and flat. It's easy for me walking, but you could always flatten this in spots.
The overall cost for these projects will be around $1 million. And funding coming from the Capital Reserve Fund and state grants. According to the town, these upgrades happening to Northside Park is set to happen in 2026 and 2027. I'm Kevin Zappe in Ocean City, CoastTV News.
Across Delmarva, Salisbury Mayor Randolph Taylor is reflecting on progress across the city. According to his office, some of the highlights include the city's saving reaching a record $21 million, major infrastructure upgrades including road projects, greenway improvements, and new trash trucks, new technology for the Salisbury Police Department, and Ann Street Village, which is now at full capacity. In Delaware, DNREC and the Delaware Center for Horticulture are hosting tree cycling on Saturday, January 10th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. This will take place at the Delaware Center for Horticulture in Wilmington. Officials say collected trees will be chipped into mulch and reused in community gardens and public landscapes. All ornaments, lights, tinsel, fake snow, and stands must be removed before arrival. Another storm slammed California on Christmas Day. The atmospheric river-fueled storm lashed the state, setting records in some areas and keeping many under evacuation orders. Reed Binion shows us how people are now recovering.
Everything was flooded. It was insane.
Californians reeling from another day of brutal, deadly weather. Torrential rain triggering floodwaters that made roads treacherous and in many cases impassable. Thunderstorms and punishing winds causing damage across the state. In other areas, feet of snow also impacting travel. In Wrightwood, northeast of Los Angeles, authorities issued an evacuation warning Thursday due to mud and debris flows.
We're approaching 10 inches for the Wrightwood area. Widespread flooding throughout the community.
Emergency crews pulling people from flooded cars and homes.
A number of rescues were performed throughout the day. Water rescues from vehicles traveling onto flooded roadways. We had people that were trapped in their houses.
The massive scope of the flooding still visible hours after the water receded. Cars and homes encased in silt, mud, and sand the floodwaters left behind. Some homes buried nearly up to the windows and rafters. Elsewhere in the state, authorities say a Sacramento sheriff's deputy was killed after crashing on a wet roadway while driving to work.
Fortunately, in this line of work, we deal a lot with the dangers in the line of duty. This is a little more unique because it's one of those freak accidents simply on his way to work.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
We are just getting started this morning on CoastTV News Today. We still have a lot more news to get to. Coming up, bringing back Beach Slam. We'll tell you how Beach Slam is filling a void left by a previous Sussex County competition that's on hiatus. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
It is 5:40 on this Friday morning after Christmas. Here is the Bay Health Cam. Milford, it's cold. We're expecting temperatures staying below freezing for the next couple of hours right now. We're in the 20s and lower 30s, 30 in Millsboro, 33 in Lewis and Rehoboth right now. And we've got a breeze out of the north. That's knocking feels like temperatures down into the teens and 20s. So if you're headed out this morning, make sure you bundle up as we're looking at quiet, dry conditions now. But that system back to our north and west promises precipitation later today with a cold rain for us and then tricky travel to the north with ice and snow. But along the coast today, lower 40s from Lewis to Dewey Beach and then lower 40s from Bethany into Chincoteague. I think that rain develops after about 4 p.m. Congratulations to our umbrella winner from Seaford. It's Karen Smith. Congratulations to Karen from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. Happening today, Holiday High School basketball is returning to Lewis. The Cape Henlopen Basketball Booster Club is sponsoring the Beach Slam Tournament. Last year was the inaugural event that is attempting to fill the void of the popular slam dunk to the beach. This is video from the 2018 Slam Dunk Tournament. It was in March 2024 that the Delaware Sports Commission, which organized that event, announced that the tournament was going on hiatus. The newer version is focused more on local and regional teams. That tournament begins today.
Governor's Challenge is back, and the Delmarva Sports Network is your exclusive station for the hottest high school hoops. Over 130 teams hit the courts in the nation's premier holiday basketball tournament. Stream every live game from 5 courts with DSN Plus, and don't miss the DSN Nightly Wrap-Up Show. Only on the Delmarva Sports Network and DSN Plus. The 43rd Annual Governor's Challenge, sponsored by Piedmont Airlines and TNG Builders.
So the action starts on Friday with a lot of local action to kick off the event. In the early slate of day 1, we've got 4 Delaware versus Maryland battles on the Delmarva Sports Network. Later in the day, Dover and Y-High, that'll be another good one. Always great to watch the Tribe and their head coach Butch Waller, the founder of the Governor's Challenge.
Now is a great time to subscribe to DSN Plus to make sure you can catch as many games as possible. Go to delmarvasportsnetwork.com for more details.
Tonight on DSN at 5 p.m., James M. Bennett takes on Colonel Richardson in boys basketball. At 6:30, Y-High faces Dover, also in boys basketball. And at 8:30, it is the All-Star event. Here's your DSN Plus exclusives. Governor's Challenge is here, and you can watch the games taking place at the Wicomico Civic Center, Wicomico High School, and UMES. Week 17 of the NFL season is here, and this is what's coming up Sunday on Coast TV. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. when the Chicago Bears take on the San Francisco 49ers. Then stay tuned for Coast TV News right after the game. Entertainment news now, including a conversation with the actor behind Stranger Things' Vecna. Rick Damangella has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
It is time.
Jamie Campbell Bower, who portrays Vecna in Stranger Things, describes playing the big bad evil guy of the series.
I genuinely felt like I had a great, opportunity and a duty of care to this world and to the work that had already been put into it. And so, to play the big bad was never something that I never really saw. It was one that I didn't see, but it was never I was never conscious of being the bad guy. I just wanted to bring this character to life.
The final episode of Stranger Things premieres New Year's Eve.
You've brought all the wine out from the cellar.
Yes, Mom.
And closed the cellar hatch.
And in case you missed it in theaters, British farce Fackham Hall is out now on VOD. The film's director says it was a very fun film to make.
I'm not going to lie, we had a lot of fun. We had an awful lot of fun on set. I had a great bunch of actors who became like a little family. We were in the most beautiful locations. Knowsley Hall, which is home to the Earl of Derby, was our main setting. So it was a beautiful place to hang out and to film and to shoot.
Oh well. You made it to 7. To London's oldest ever chimney sweep.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damangella.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And it's time to showcase how you are decorating your homes this holiday season. Today's holiday house is coming to us from Bill and Gadley's in Georgetown. Here we see a unique German goose feather tree with unique decorations. Thank you so much for sending your tree to us. And if you would like to send your festive decorations to be shared in our broadcast, take a look at your screen. Send in your pictures by heading to coasttv.com/holidayhouse.
It is a clear and cold start on this Friday morning. Irish Eyes, Cam and Lewis, 31 degrees, and it's going to be a cold day, warming through the 30s, and then that cold rain later this evening, and then a wintry mix farther toward north. Tricky travel there. I'll have your full forecast details coming up in 2 minutes.
The time is now 5:48 and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury this morning. That campus is likely empty, Bob, as it is Christmas break for all those college students. But we were talking about this warm weather for this time of year, but it's not going to stick around.
No, it is not going to stick around, Elisa. And that nice weather was sticking around into Christmas Day. That was pretty nice. And now it's starting to cool down as we're awaiting that wintry system heading our way. That will bring a cold rain for us later on. Here's our Irish Eyes Cam and looking into Lewis. Now it's cold in our storyline. We're increasing the clouds today with afternoon and evening rain developing. So really much of the day is dry. No travel troubles there. This precipitation could start out as a bit of a wintry mix for this evening and then turn over to rain with temperatures in the 30s. And then tonight, it's a cold rain with wet roads as temperatures rise to the 40s, but farther north, tricky travel with ice and snow back into Pennsylvania, New Jersey, the New York area. So if you're traveling there or you have relatives traveling from that area, it is going to be pretty dicey later on tonight. We're looking at temperatures right now in the 20s and lower 30s, 30 in Millsboro, 31 in Willards, 30 in Delmar. And we've got wind, especially along the coast, gusting close to 25 miles per hour. So it feels like temperatures, it's cold. It feels like teens and lower 20s out there. So if you're returning some gifts or just out and about, make sure you bundle up. Now, we already have winter weather advisories flying from northern Delaware into New Jersey, the Philly area, back through Baltimore and Pennsylvania for ice and for snow. And it looks like just plain old snow around the New York area and Long Island. A winter storm warning. They could see maybe 4 to 6 inches of snow there. But for us, we're seeing mostly clear skies. And once again, travel is good pretty much through mid-afternoon all across the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, but already starting to see some snow around Buffalo. And here's the system we're watching for later on. It's a mixed bag of precipitation moving out of the Great Lakes, and this will be sliding to the south and east, increasing our precipitation chances later on. We'll increase the clouds this morning. Temperatures slowly warming through the 30s. By mid-afternoon, 30s to low 40s. So we're well above freezing. No worries with icy roads. As the winds pick up out of the southeast, it's actually pretty mild by this evening into the low 40s. So that precipitation moves in mainly as rain. Could start out as a bit of a wintry mix and then on and off rain through the overnight hours. And then it's a Saturday morning. It's just cloudy. Temperatures in the 40s and then falling with a northerly wind. Those temperatures falling through the 30s. It does clear out into Sunday morning with 20s and low 30s and a cold Sunday on the way with temperatures only in the low 40s. Here's the bigger view. You can see this peach color. This is some sleet and freezing rain back through Philly and Pennsylvania with snow farther up into New York. And for us, it's just that cold rain. And then that moves out as we go into Saturday morning. Not a lot of rain for us, maybe up to about 1/4 of an inch. And then we could see another round of rain later Sunday into Monday with a cold front. It gets really mild ahead of this front. We're looking at lower 60s on Monday with just plain rain with this system. Along the coast for today, lower 40s from Lewis to Dewey Beach. That rain developing after about 4 p.m. and showery from Bethany Beach into Chincoteague. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. 39 today with the rain developing this evening. 36 tonight. Temperatures beginning to rise and then mostly cloudy for the weekend. Saturday 41, 46 on Sunday. Really mild on Monday, 61 with showers. Then those temperatures crash again into Tuesday, 36. And cold heading into New Year's Eve, but looking dry. 41 New Year's Eve, and then for New Year's Day to kick off 2026, 38 and partly cloudy on Thursday.
The Winter Olympics are back February 2026, and we are going to meet one of the athletes participating for the United States. Alpine downhill skier Breezy Johnson's Olympic dreams for Beijing 2022 came crashing down when she blew out her knee on the very mountain to be used at the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics. She since has come back to win a 2025 world title. Breezy Johnson is a first-time gold medalist at the World Championships. And the time is now 5:52, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day. And today's coastal pet of the day, like it does every Friday, is coming to us from the Brandywine Valley. SPCA on your screen right now is Tuna Fish. Tuna Fish is a spunky, fun cat that is very social and outgoing. She loves to be brushed and play with her toys. If you want to adopt Tuna or any other lovable pet, you can head to the Brandywine Valley SPCA. And of course, we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them special. You can take a look at your screen, scan the QR code at the top of your screen to submit your furry friend to Coast TV News. Then, of course, watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all of the pets we feature. Well, some people may be heading home today, Bob, or to another winter destination. That warm weather is not sticking around, though.
No, and if you're traveling north, as I mentioned, Elisa, up into the New Jersey area, New York, Pennsylvania, that's where it's going to be on the slick side and maybe icy as well later this evening and tonight. Now, if you're riding the ferry, it's just cloudy today and cold. Bundle up with temperatures only in the mid to upper 30s with a raw easterly wind. And remember to call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone. Your forecast is a call away. Sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast for Kwanzaa. Today, it's cold, 39, thickening clouds. Then that cold rain develops as we go into the afternoon and evening hours, maybe starting out as some wintry precipitation, then changing to just plain cold rain. But that's going to be some snow and ice once again across Pennsylvania into the New York area. And then we go into the weekend. It's cold, 41 on Saturday, 46 on Sunday. Really a big warm up on Monday ahead of a cold front, 61 with rain there. And then it's cold again after that. 36 Tuesday, New Year's Eve, not bad. 41. New Year's Day, not looking bad, but cold. 38 and pretty cold to start 2026 and dry. Maybe a rain chance by Sunday and 44 degrees.
Coming up in our next hour, support for fallen troopers family, how you can help, and the fake fundraisers to avoid. All that and more when Coast TV News Today returns.